Hi, guys. This is Alistair Groves, the host of Where Life and Scripture Meet, our other podcast at CCEF. And I just wanted to let you know that we are sharing a special episode over on our other podcast. It's a recording of Ed Welch's opening talk at our 2023 National Conference on Trauma. If you're not familiar with that podcast, you can find it on any of the normal podcast platforms or, of course, on our website at ccef.org.
Welcome to the CCEF Blogcast, where CCEF authors read their own blogs. Today, Darby Strickland is reading her blog titled Winning Your Child's Heart with Winsome Words. In it, she considers the power of words and how we can use them as an invitation for our children to see God's kindness.
Winning your child's heart with winsome words. Do we understand the impact of our words on our children? We utter words every day in all sorts of situations, often without intentionality. Sometimes when we are using words to keep order and getting things done, we lose sight of the power they possess. My years as a parent have helped me understand that my words do more than guide my children through their day. They shape how they think about themselves, other people, and how the world works. Most importantly, my words are one way my children learn about the gospel. I remember one afternoon when I was exhausted and one of my children was not answering me. I quickly grew frustrated and began to demand that they answer my question. But something tugged at my heart, so I stopped, scooped them into my lap, and asked, "Why are you refusing to answer me?" Still, no answer. I recognized this was an important moment, and I prayed for God to give me a gentle spirit. I wanted my child to engage with me, not because I forced them to, but because they knew they were loved. After all, this is how the Lord engages us. A few moments later, I rephrased the question, "Why are you struggling to answer me?" And then it happened. The child knew they were free to share their heart, and the words poured out. They told me about the shame they were carrying and how they noticed I was tense, and how they can't always find words when they are upset, but that I keep asking for them. Then there were tears. I learned much about my child's heart that day, and how we both needed to learn more about the Lord's forgiveness, patience, and steadfastness. That one conversation shaped our following 50 conversations. Many of us fail here. We either miss the opportunity or push past our children with our agenda. After all, I was just trying to make dinner. Sometimes when our children are not answering us, we are tempted to label it as disrespect or disobedience too quickly. Making this assumption permits us to approach our children with our frustrations. We start by making proclamations, even threats. But that is not how the Lord deals with us when we are out of sorts. He is not frustrated, nor does he overpower us with proclamations. Instead, he invites us to talk to him. And we can talk about the hard things, the disappointing things, the fearful things, and the messy things of our hearts. With our kids, we want to skip that in favor of rules and commands. But by doing so, we leave out God's never-ending and pursuing love. Instead, we speak abruptly, insensitively, or cruelly. This is not wisdom, nor will it help our children grow in wisdom. How easy is it to say to a whiny child, "Stop complaining," or "Do all things without grumbling," Philippians 2:14. But how much harder is it to sit and draw out their hearts by asking, "What is hurting?" and listening in the same way that God listens to us. We should not just want to shut them up, but show them how to act like a child of God in a broken world where it is easy to grumble, Philippians 2:15. This is not an easy task. The ability to love one another well with inviting words is a skill we grow in over time, and it requires humility. We can care about having order in our home and even obedience, and still speak wisely and gently. It takes more work, more restraint, more sanctification, more of Jesus, but it can be done. It needs to be done. Even in the inconvenient moments, we should engage our children in the way that Jesus speaks to us, with a deep love that seeks to captivate hearts. Luke 4:22-24, verse 32. I would imagine most of you listening to this share my point of view and try, though imperfectly, like me, to live by and hold out God's glorious truths in sweet and tender ways. Our words possess power. We must use them carefully. Consider Proverbs 16:21. The wise of heart is called discerning, and the sweetness of speech increases persuasiveness. It reminds us that if we desire to bring others insight, we should engage them with a sweetness of speech, with well-spoken, kind words that invite people to seek wisdom. God has used many small moments to convict me to shape my words into sweet invitations, drawing those I love and those who challenge me into deeper conversations. If we want to convey a much-needed message of grace, especially to our children, our words must be gracious invitations to see God and His heart for His people. We need to present Him as the tender lover of our souls by using sweet and inviting words, and then trust that His Spirit will be at work guiding their hearts.
Thank you for listening to the CCEF blogcast. At CCEF, we're always creating new articles, videos, and podcasts that are free to access. If you're interested in exploring our latest content, you can find it at ccef.org. Today's fun fact is about our resources. Did you know that we have a children's book series called Good News for Little Hearts? Currently, there are 14 books in the series written by a variety of CCF authors.